What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 80 of The Road to Glory, here with FC United of Manchester. Just a quick apology for the kind of slight hiatus. I've been away for a weekend. I've actually been really busy with uni work. It's Sunday evening. I've just been in a live stream with the Finmeans win and 5 Stars HD. I've had a really long week. I've got uni work until this Wednesday. I'm in 8 AM till 10 PM tomorrow, so a nice 14-hour day. But after this Wednesday, I'm free, and I know it's half term coming up for you young'uns, and I will have videos coming up for you. So anyway, episode 80. Today marks the start of our 11th season with FC United of Manchester. Amazing landmark. First and foremost, huge thank you for 80 episodes. You know, this would never be possible without your support. It really is kind of mind-blowing to see the support that you guys give me across all my videos, especially this series. You guys have been ridiculous. So yeah, big ups to you. Today we have two big games. We have our first ever Champions League appearance. Just to kick things off, as if that wouldn't whet your appetite enough on its own. And following that, we've got a fun tie against Arsenal. And then the second leg, I'm going to do 3 games today. We've got a nice easy tie as well against Dortmund, who are playing us in the Champions League qualifying stage. I mean, what could be easier than Dortmund, guys? Anyone, I think, pretty much. But anyway, let's get into the preseason stuff. Who's come in, who's gone out, that kind of shazam. A few little things, I guess, to tell you about as well, whilst I try and remember how to work FM and find the transfer history. Oh god, I've actually gone crazy. Where is transfer history? This is I've not touched FM in a week. I feel like a complete moron here. What am I doing wrong? Oh my, how? How does this even happen? Transfer centre. I tell you what, a week of not playing FM because of uni work totally does your head in. Just a few things actually. Hopefully my mic quality sounds better. I've repositioned my mic so I'm kind of facing square into it, and I'm hoping it's going to be clear for you guys. The other thing to note is that I've changed my FM layout to bigger. I want to know, do you prefer the condensed user interface, or is this bigger user interface? So what I've done is I'm playing in 1080p now instead of 720p. What this does is it means I fit more on my screen when I'm recording, and so you see more, but it's smaller. Does that make sense? Let me know if you prefer how this looks now compared to how it normally looks, and then depending on that, I'll make a decision on how to lay out my videos and stuff. Anyway, on to the transfers, because I'm now just rambling, and I've wasted like 3 or 4 minutes and I've not even got through anything. Okay, so on the transfer front, just a few transfers to tell you about that are of note on the way out. Adrian Gill's gone out on loan, the young lad. Needs time away from the club to really develop as a first team player. He's on loan at Warsaw, so hopefully he can grab some first team experience and improve. And then on the outs, a lot of these are youth team rejects. A few that may catch your eye, however, are Tom Adeyemi, a Nigerian player, played very well for us over the years, but to be honest, been a fringe player ever since we kind of got to the Premier League. Gone out to Burnley, got a little bit of money for, sorry, not a little bit of money, getting him off the wage budget, which is nice. And we've also got Isaac Marine off the wage budget. Currently a free agent. His demands for wage are probably absolutely ridiculous. This guy came to us when we were in the Championship for £800,000 from Liverpool. He was tipped to be the next Gerard Piqué. I stuck by him for a few seasons, really. A few seasons of real first-team football. Never did anything with that kind of trust and that kind of chance he got. He's been on trial at Newcastle in the Championship. He's not impressed there. Still yet to find any real opportunity as a player. He was on, I think, £50,000 a week because he had a highest match earner clause. And now that we've got him off the wage budget, it's allowed me to bring in a few new faces. Speaking of which, there's been a few. We've brought in £35 million worth of players, which sounds like a lot, and to be honest, it is a lot. However, that is taken up by one player in particular, and he's part of the long-term jigsaw puzzle of our club. We'll start off with the other transfers anyway, in a somewhat reasonable order. First player, Luis Hernandez, Enrique even. Luis Enrique, I don't even know what was up with my weird French pronunciation there. This guy's a good player, little 18-year-old, plenty of potential. Looking forward to seeing how he develops. Only came in for 1.9 million, not a huge transfer, but hopefully he can do the business for us. We have Francisco, is this? Francisco? We'll go with Francisco. 16-year-old from Tottenham. A little bit of potential about him when I scouted him. Who knows, might develop into a gem. If not, only 700k on him. In reality, that's pretty cheap. I mean, if you put it this way, if you put punts on 10, 16-year-olds in the Premier League, you play for Premier League teams and kind of catch your eye, the chances are that at least one of them is going to make up the £1 million that you've paid for each of the 10 players. So I'd say 1 in 10 of these kind of players comes big for you. He's a risk, but then there's a few here. We have Torbate? I don't know. And if someone wants to suggest a pronunciation of this guy, please let me know. He has some weird sideburn that kind of just grows on his cheek. But this guy, 16-year-old, all-round kind of beast. Potential is certainly there. Come from Swansea, 600k for him. Bit of a bargain. Another player who's a great bargain, Scott Everington, 16 years old goalkeeper. Really like the look of this lad. Everton produce a lot of good young goalkeepers who are English, it seems, on FM. That's been kind of the general pattern for me. This guy certainly fits the bill. Very kind of potentially good player for us. 16, loads and loads of time for him to develop. We'll see how he gets on in the reserves. We then have Leonardo Verilio? We'll go with Verilio. It sounds Italian. 15-year-old centre-back. This guy really caught my eye. He's 15. He's not going to be 16 for a while. But, I mean, 13 heading, 13 marking, 13 tackling, and 17 natural fitness. He's got the core 3 attributes that I look for in my centre-backs in heading, marking and tackling. 17 natural fitness means that he's going to be playing a lot of first-team football. Not first-team football, a lot of football for the reserves without getting knackered, which is good. And sometimes, not always, but good natural fitness usually correlates with good injury proneness, lowness. So less likely to get injuries. But we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front. We have Raniero Servi, 17-year-old centre forward. As you can see, there's quite a lot of young players coming in. A lot of these players are real punts, but as I mentioned, these are players who are really adding a bit of depth to the squad. Come in for 950k. Not a bad transfer, I don't think, for the price that we paid. Plenty of potential. Along with a lot of these players, I mean, a lot of these players, they're young, going to stick them in the reserves for a few years, see how they develop, maybe letting them out, and hopefully 1 or 2 of them come big for us in the future. We have Sabatani Duccio, this guy, Italian goalkeeper, coming in as a second choice goalkeeper for us. I needed a backup. At the end of last year, you will have known that I had to play the 15-year-old Felipe Mendes. On the very last game of the season last year, he went on international duty, and I didn't have a goalkeeper at all in the first team squad. So Shane Barney went in goal for us and only conceded 2. I think it was a 2-2 draw against Leicester in the end. But I don't want to let that happen again. So this guy's coming on a free. He's only on £8,000 a week. He's got a 3-year deal. Really decent backup goalkeeper, if you ask me, considering he is set to backup status and he was willing to come to us. Another player, Theo Walcott, the man, the myth, the legend. He's old now, but he's not a bad player. He's only on £11,000 a week. Good little backup. Nice to have an English player in the squad because Shane Barney was the only one. That was probably one of the main reasons for getting him, but he does offer a little bit of coverage if worse comes to worse. Another young player here, Reginaldo, signed him when he was 16. He's only just come because he's now 18. Good little player, plenty of potential. £1 million to bring him in. Bargain, if you ask me. I'm going to leave Dzeko for a second. We have Anike. This guy is a really good player. He's a fairly unique player. This guy always seems to develop fairly nicely on FM, and he always seems to come out with these kind of attributes, high creativity, high aerial, and then kind of average everything else, but good enough to make him a backup. He's come in, how much was it in the end he came in for? 2.4 million from Newcastle. He's only 29. I say only 29. It's old in our squad, but 29, 3 years, maybe a first-team football left. He's on a 2-year deal. He's really just going to be a backup centre mid, just adding a little bit more strength and depth to the squad. This year, obviously, being in Europe, potentially, I mean, we've got to qualify against Dortmund, which isn't going to be easy, but potentially with us being in Europe, we're going to need a bigger squad, and that's one thing I've had to do this year, expand, which is why there's been a lack of first team player sales and really just trying to add a little bit of strength through fairly cheap players who offer something unique. One thing I did want to share up was kind of the strength and depth of the defence, especially the wing-back areas. First player here, Mark Ritson, on loan from Ajax, little backup player. He's only on £20,000 a month, so I think he's here for the entire season. So say that's 12 months, 240k to bring this guy in. He's not a bad player. He's on £2,000 a week. He's a little bit of a bargain. A good little bit of backup if worse comes to worse. But I needed that kind of reassurance in that position. And we also have Silkin here, who's another kind of backup player who's in on loan. Russian international, on loan from Spartak Moscow. Low wages. So he's good as well. So, that's the transfers. Bar one, Dzeko. 26 million, this guy. Big player, if you ask me. As you can see, really good player. Looking at his stats, he has the stats of a pure winger. A pure winger, pacey kind of player. He plays on the left wing, but he can also play centre mid, and he's right-footed. Although you can't see it here, he is right-footed, which means he's going to cut inside. 23 kick taking, 19 penalty taking. Real set-piece specialist as well, especially with his corners. Really excited by this guy. He's got potential. We have quite a lot of strong left attacking midfielders, but this guy came under my radar. And, I mean, 26 million if you ask me for this guy. Razor Comms wants to update. Go away, Razor. Go away. That is the first time ever something's popped up on my screen that wasn't Football Manager. It's the curse of using this new layout. But no. Let me get back on topic. Dzeko, I think he offers something unique. He offers us... I want to say a Ronaldo-esque player, a player with pace, flair, and he's a proper winger who I think is going to grab goals for us and play well. So, that is the squad. Looking at our team, this is how we line up for today's game, or rather the future game against Dortmund on Tuesday. So, I'm keeping with the shape from last year, which is a 4-3-3. Barbosa played on the right, Dzeko played on the left. The two Brazilians really linking up well. As you can see, Shane Barney will be starting up front. However, I have got one transfer I've not told you guys about yet, which I will come on to in a second. Now my memory's been jogged. We then have Bocao and Courtois. Courtois is currently banned actually for this European game, so Aniki steps in. Exactly what I brought him in for. That bit of backup. We have Bocao. Nothing needs to be said. It's Bocao. I mean, what can you say? I suppose what I could say is he's improved. Last season he improved a lot. Really, he's improving every year. This guy, plenty of potential still to improve, I think. I mean, he's 24, which for a centre mid, he's got 6 or 7 years left in him to improve even further. Sampa, the anchorman, creative outlet from deep. Really good player. One heading. I mean, what more could you want from a young beast than one heading? Right back and left back, we have Musavi and Farias. Glenn Stewart's injured, so Musavi steps in. But Farias, good left back, Argentine. Still yet to be called up to the Argentine first team, which surprises me. Pablo made his first ever appearance for Brazil, which is good. Admittedly, Pablo isn't the centre-back that he once was. He's not improved, I don't think, as much as I expected him to. I mean, he's still an absolute beast, but he may be a player who I look to kind of replace going into the later stages of this year, maybe next year. And then Benitez, of course, Argentine, absolute tank. He's 19, he has 18 heading, 18 tackling, 16 defending. Mentals aren't there yet, however, plenty of time to develop those. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play. And then in goal, of course, Josimar, Brazilian tank. What more can you say? He has a weird streak in his hair. But no, quick, I will go on to the transfer which I was talking about coming in. But to be honest, there's been not too much happen on the outs this year, which might seem a little bit odd. However, this year I've really focused on keeping the core of the team the same, that finished 4th in the league, adding a quality player like Dzeko, who I think can offer something going forward, maybe help us score a few more goals. But really just build on what we've got. We don't need to sell players now. You know, we're becoming an identified team in Europe, and what that means is big teams are going to come in for our players. You know, our players are going to get a bigger reputation playing on this bigger stage. It's going to be hard to fend off competition for some of our players. However, I do have faith in the lads to step up and then hopefully remain faithful. I've tried to get a lot of the players who are kind of our main prospects on new contracts. Players like Barbosa signed a new year, which is a 3-year extension on his existing contract, which is really good. As for any minor changes, there haven't been that many changes in the staff department. The only one to really tell you about was this summer. It was the World Cup, and we had one sec, I've got a problem here. What was I going to say? We've got a new Brazilian staff member in called Tite. Is it Tite? Brazilian coach. Basically, Brazil won the World Cup. He resigned as manager of Brazil after they won the World Cup. And then I got him in as a youth coach, which is a great little bit of business because it means pretty much any Brazilian will now come to me, which is a nice little add-on to have. We have a problem here, and the problem is that I can't fill my squad with players who have trained in England to 3 years between the age of 15 and 21. Houston, we have a problem. A big problem at that. Have I got any reserve team players who are homegrown? That is the question. In country, that is. Homegrown status. Trained in nation. Gil. Gordon Doyle. Apparently you can play because you've trained in nation. Oh wait, homegrown status. Can he play? I'm going to have to just promote some of these players and see if it works, to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't work. That is the next question. What does one do? Let's get you guys in as well. And see if we can... And see if now we can announce a squad. Auto-select. No, we have a problem here, guys, because... You must have at least 8 players trained by a club in England. I don't want to go on holiday for a day. Because if I go on holiday for a day, I miss the game. But I might not have a choice. Unless I go on action, go on holiday. Return on date. I can't hit next match either. Fuck's sake. What do you do? What do you do in this situation, people? Shout through your screens at me. I think the only option I have is to go on holiday, but obviously I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that, but I might have to. Because I don't have a choice. Oh, requesting permission to shout loudly at my TV and be mad. I mean, can I promote you to the senior squad, these youngsters, and then try? I just have to try loads of combos, guys, I'm afraid. I'm really confused as to what I can do here. What about if I try now? Auto... Oh my god, what do you do? I literally have no idea what I have to do. I mean, the only option is to holiday and pray. Which is a bummer, because I was kind of looking forward to this game. We'll have to go on holiday for the Dortmund game. Fucking hell. I'm sorry about that, lads. I'm kind of bummed out about that. That's annoying. I don't think there's any option, because I don't have enough players. This was why I've been signing so many young players, for this very reason. I'm actually kind of pissed off about that. Well, we won 2-0. So what squad did we play with? Go on, tell me, game. Oh, I'm pissed off. I apologise, guys, for that. That's really... that's annoying as hell. Good to see Dzeko get on the score sheet, though, I suppose. Obviously, expensive transfer. Going to be playing left attacking mid for us. Good to see him grab a goal. Good overall performance by the team, I suppose. Not a lot I can tell you, which is annoying. McCallum wants to leave. That is fine. You can go away. Record gate receipts as well, which is good. Good bit of money for the club. Hopefully, fingers crossed here, we can fill our stadium properly this year, and next year when I request a stadium to be built, one will be built, because it's been 11 years now at the club that we've been sharing with Berry, and it's about time we got our own stadium. I suppose I should probably now put back the players who I promoted back into their respected squads, I suppose. Reserves, you guys who are terrible, you can go back to the under 18s, and then you can go back to the reserves. That's annoying. I'm sorry about that, guys. FM screwing me over. At least we've got the Arsenal game to look forward to. And I mean, to be honest, 2-0 is a great result against Dortmund. Just would have been nice to see it instead of having to go on holiday. I mean, who goes on holiday for a day in real life? Just midnight, right? I think I'm going to go on holiday today till tomorrow. Right before a big match. Pretty flexible chairman that lets the manager go on holiday, if you ask me. I now really hate that song, We're All Going on a Summer Holiday. I've decided. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. Oh, okay, well, I suppose because of everything that's happened, I can show you the future of the club. Because obviously, we've got Dzeko and Barbosa, two very talented Brazilian left and right wingers. And I was looking at the Brazil national squad, having had Tite resign as a national team manager and come to us. I thought, see what's available, see what's on the market. And someone caught my eye, and that guy was Reginaldo. This guy, 24-year-old, he comes in on a free to us in January. I mean, we've done this with so many Brazilians on the saves, just pike players from Brazil. But this guy is very, very talented. He's a kind of individual I'm looking forward to having at the club. As you can see, favourite personnel Tite, who's the under-18s manager for us, which was a swinging point in me being able to get him to come. This guy was wanted by AC Milan, he was wanted by Real Madrid, he was wanted by some of the biggest teams in Europe, and in the end I offered him a contract he couldn't refuse. Not dissimilar to Bocal's contract, but I feel as if this guy's raw kind of talent. I mean, 17 dribbling, 17 finishing, 16 first touch. Also has the good aerial presence, which could be useful. Got the makings of a real advanced forward. Still only 24. Brazilian's main kind of national team striker. Probably also important to mention the fact that Barbosa's broken into the first team, and Bocal has also broken into the first team, and so has Pablo. So we've now got 4 first team Brazilian players, and when you look at the list of teams which these players play for, it really puts into perspective how far we've come. But I think that's great. Neymar's getting on a bit now. It's weird seeing Neymar be 30, I've got to be honest. It's a shame he's contracted to United, I suppose. Also, I might try and pike him up. But to be honest, now, when Reginaldo comes, I'll have 9 first team squad Brazilians. And I really want to start focusing on getting in the kind of English talent. I was eyeing up a few of the England national team players. And to be honest, it was absolutely ridiculous, the money they wanted. There was one centre-back whose name I can't remember. I think it began with an L, and he was a kind of real player who's from the Nottingham Forest Academy. I can't remember his name, though. He was playing for Norwich, and they wanted 23 million for him. And to be honest, I could go to Brazil and get the exact same player for 10 million probably at a max. And it just, I don't know, it's frustrating that English players cost so much, but it's just one of those things which I guess I've got to deal with, and hopefully with us being in the Championship now, the Champions League now, where you can start to attract in those players. The other problem is a lot of the big English players come from academies in England, the big academies, which happen to be kind of Arsenal, Man U. You get the drill. All the big teams in England. And with kind of them all coming from those teams, I can't get them to come to me from the big teams, and so it's really hard to get the top English talent to come to me. I mean, occasionally you get one kind of breakthrough player who comes through from a really low league academy, but often it's hard to pick them up when you're in the high division, so it's a little bit annoying. Looking at our squad, going to do a tiny bit of rotation, nothing too major. Going to start with Dzeko. Obviously, looking for another big performance by him. Grabbed a goal last time out against Dortmund. We'll see how we get on here. Playing against Arsenal, who have a pretty decent team. This guy, JM Bomb. I was actually looking at this guy at one point, however, I elected to get Dzeko instead. I mean, if you look at this guy, he came for 28 million to Arsenal. If I do a quick comparison, I know it's hard to see, but maybe you can make it out. If you compare him with Dzeko, whilst he is a better player with Dzeko in some elements, Dzeko has slightly more technical ability and slightly more speed. Perhaps not as good a player as Mbom, but Dzeko was a lot more of a realistic transfer to bring in, and he's cheaper. So it was good to get Dzeko in for the price we got him in for. But anywho, today we've got a big game against Arsenal. Let's see how we get on. No one expects us to get a result. Go and play without any pressure. We are at the Emirates. We've actually got results here in previous encounters, so maybe we can grab something. Playing with a fairly full-strength squad. I think Glenn Stewart's still injured or coming back from injury. Zorak is obviously starting as our striker, the 20-year-old Czech Republic lad. I always say lad after a player's nationality when referring to them. It's terrible. I need to break that habit. But no, he's a really good talent for us. He's 20 years old. He's a Czech Republic international. He needs first team football to develop, and I'm trying to give him that this year. Shane Barney obviously is going to be kind of no longer sufficient in terms of a first team player, especially with Reginaldo coming. Maybe try and offload him, although I would like to keep that kind of English core, or at least it's not really the core anymore, but an English flair to the team, an English player or two. Anyway, Arsenal starting off with the early chances here, and in fact that's back-to-back saves by Josimar. I made a comment last year about how Josimar, unlike say Peltola and other goalkeepers who I've had previously at FC United Manchester, Josimar seems to make those saves that win you games, and they're the kind of saves which he's pulled off already in this game, and hopefully he can have a game to remember against Arsenal at the Emirates. Arsenal really starting off sharply here, and they've grabbed a goal there. Was that Mbom with the goal? Nope. It was a Xhaka own goal. Well, that's what you pay £23 million for, folks. A quality own goal, if I might say so myself. I mean, he's had it headed onto him by the player on the post, which I'm really still not sure how that's happened, but it's happened. Disappointing as it may be to bear witness to. But Arsenal 1-0 up at half-time. Look at the stats, it's fairly 50-50. I'm going to just tell the guys they're unlucky. It's worked for the years on the save, and it works again. I mean, look at it. They are motivated. You'd think I'd given them the most stirring speech ever. Hopefully we can up our game in this second half. We've really struggled, kind of, I guess, to adapt so far this game. Looking at the stats, it's pretty close, all things considering, but we need to start crafting some real opportunities. Going to keep it as it is until 50 odd minutes, maybe 60 odd minutes. Hopefully the guys can up their game and really kind of take the game to them. We've got a chance here. Bocca with the cross, headed away. Can we build something from the back now? Pablo, Dzeko gives away the ball, and now Arsenal with a chance. You'd think, nope, we've got it, panic over. Good to see us building from the back there. Jorak's through, bury that. Courtois, whew. Who knows, maybe Shane Barney would have buried that, but Jorak was the guy who the chance fell to. We have 9 minutes to make something happen, so I'm going to move Barbosa, I'm going to move Dzeko up and then sub him off for Barney. I'm then going to move Troy Warner to centre forward. The guy is a big target, man. He's a big American hunk, and he's going to win the ball in the air if you kick it up to him. So Barney and Barbosa playing off him. Going to have to go longer and more attacking, you'd feel. Really try and pump the ball up as much as we can to him. Fast play. No time wasting, really press up the field. We've got to go out and grab a goal now against Arsenal with 9 minutes left at the Emirates. You've got to throw the dice, throw the sliders all the way up and go all out attack and see if anything can come good for you. Obviously, we now run the risk of conceding. It's a risk you've got to take, though. I mean, these are the kind of games which can make or break a season. It's the kind of game where if we grab a point here and Arsenal drop 2 points potentially, it might be the difference between Champions League football. Even at this early stage, this is only the second league game of the season. In fact, I forgot to review the first league game of the season, so we will go back and do that. It was against Aston Villa. So it's probably worth just recapping and showing you guys it. It was a win, so we did start off with a win this season. Sorry, I decided not to cover it because of the Champions League games, which you've now not seen, so that's kind of redundant. But this episode, like, everything is against me. Like, literally, this episode does not want to come out. Just feels like one of those bad days at the office, I suppose. But we have got a chance here. Bocca with the ball in. Varias, Bennett will clear that, and I think that might be the end of the chance. Is that going to be the end of the chance? It's not. Can we get the ball up now? Can we get the ball up? Samper kicks it out. Oh, they've got a player injured. Typical. Time wasting now. No doubt he'll stay on the floor for 20 minutes. Oh, is he being dragged off or stretched off? I don't even know. We've got 3 minutes to make something happen. It's probably not going to happen. 10 seconds left. It'll be a miracle. And now we're giving them the ball. That's always a good sign. That will be the game. Disappointing result in the end. 1-0 defeat at the hands of Arsenal. Perhaps a shade unlucky. I feel like we played okay. I mean, at the end of the day, Arsenal are a top team. And a 1-0 defeat away to them isn't necessarily a terrible result, all things kind of considered. When you kind of lay it out on the table and look at it from an outsider's point of view, I probably would have taken that result. Now, we do have the Dortmund game. I'm just concerned as to whether or not I'm even going to be able to watch this game. But hopefully, fingers crossed, crossing my fingers actually here right now, we can grab something against Dortmund. And hopefully I can bear witness to it. I hope so. Or I'm going to kind of be annoyed. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to look at free agents who have trained in England. Should we do that now? I could do that now. I probably should have done that immediately after the previous game. Let's have a look. Although I can't now change the registration, so it's not actually the end of the world. Okay, homegrown status. Trained in nation. Right, I wouldn't mind some players with half decent stats, so I'm just going to first touch 15. Does anyone come up? It literally needs to be anyone at this stage. Preferably someone who plays in a position that I play on my team. Cohen, this guy is quite a good player if you can sign him. Obviously, he's really old here. Why do I get a feeling he's going to be a really greedy bastard? I just get this horrible feeling. Wage budget's low. Didn't think about that. We can readjust this. The wage budget's not actually that low. It's because Reginaldo's coming in. Like, it reserves wage budget for this guy coming in. So although it says we have 80,000 left, in reality we only have like a few thousand. How much do you want, Chris? How much do you want? He's not going to accept that no matter what I do. What if I put it on rotation? How much can I offer him? Probably won't take this, but we'll see if we can grab something here. We'll just give him some. We'll give him some ridiculously good deal and see what he does. See what he does. I'll give you a sell-on fee percentage of 50%. That's tempting. 9,000. I'll have to set him as a key player. I need these players to come in. That's the thing. Or I'm not going to be able to choose my squad and watch my games, which is not great. Not great to say the least. Ben Wagstaff. Oh, he's a regen. He looks like a bit of a lad. He does. He does look like a little bit of a lad. It's not Sam Vokes as in the Sam Vokes. How much do you want, mate? Rotation, first team. There we go. Okay, we now have 2 homegrown players in Nation. I think that's all I actually needed. So hopefully when it comes to the group stage, I can choose my squad and watch the games. I hope. I don't think I'm going to cover every Champions League game. Obviously, we'll see what the draw of the group is and take it from there. This episode's been so disjointed. I have to apologise, guys. It's kind of I'm in a slightly eccentric mood anyway. Things aren't going to plan, but I've always 100% live commed my episodes. I don't think there's ever been a time when I've dubbed over an episode. And I always want to keep it this way. I mean, I guess a lot of people would probably expect me to redo this video, but I can't redo it because I've simmed the game against Dortmund now, and that's not how I roll. But you know, it's annoying. I know it's probably frustrating for you guys seeing me have to deal with things on the fly. It's the nature of the beast, I suppose. AFC Roma are after Farias. Go away. Go away. Issue hands-off warning. Just go away, Roma. Okay, so we have the Dortmund game. Now, I'm pretty sure we can watch it this time. I hope. It's away at Dortmund, but we do carry a 2-0 win, and because they didn't get an away goal, that is going to play into our favour. We grab one against Dortmund, it puts us in good stead for the rest of the game, and Cohen's come in, which is good, because I need homegrown players. I can't believe that homegrown stuff. That's the problem with going through these divisions really quick. It's hard to get players who are grown in club, which, to be honest, hasn't actually been the problem. Today, the problem has been getting players who are grown in nation, which is pretty rare. But the problem is, because I have so many Brazilians and so many players who I've brought in who are still fairly young, they've not had 3 years in England at all, never mind 3 years trained in England. However, we've got 2 now English homegrown players, so I think that's all that I actually need for the group stage, and we can watch today's game, which is an added bonus, I suppose. So Courtois banned. Looking at our squad, a lot of players aren't registered because I couldn't register the team myself, and well, I've already explained all of that. But this is our team. I'm going to start with Shane Barney up front. It's a big day. Glenn Stewart will start at right back as well. It's nice. Okay, so admittedly the other game was technically the first European game, but this is our first European game in my eyes. It's nice to have the likes of Barney and Stewart, players who have been here all the way through, kind of stand here and bear witness to our first ever shot at Champions League football. Barney, obviously, he's been here a little while. A lot of the other players in the squad are fairly new. I mean, I say fairly new. You wouldn't believe that this is Benitez's third season, or this is Barbosa's third season. But it's just crazy to think how far we've come at the club. But I can't get all sentimental here because we've got a game to win. They're playing 5 at the back. Could play into our favour. Their shape, I don't know. We'll see how things go here. It's going to be an interesting one. Clearly, they're looking for their wing backs to have an impact against our formation. I don't know if I covered this actually, but Mike Norton is now a coach at the club. He was a player who was a first team player who actually helped us. He grabbed most of our goals for our first 2 seasons of this save. So if any of you guys can remember Mike Norton, let me know in the comments, because big old Mike has been here since the beginning, and it's great to see him still at the club now. Kind of doing his thing. I've just closed Razor Comms because I don't want any more pop-ups. I'm scared of it. It's going to do it again, I know. Anike, pressure. Get the ball. Oh, if he'd scored that would have made it 3-0. 3-0 on aggregate, 1 away goal. They would need 4. If we score 1, they need 4. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking to grab a goal, really. That's why I'm sticking with our shape and not really going overly defensive against them. Probably going to train a second tactic, which is a slightly more conservative option of this tactic, just with us kind of, stepping up now. But we've got a chance. Barney hits the post. Can we get the ball? Stewart, Barbosa. Nothing coming. Wow. Good first half. Good pressure. We're looking good. I'm going to tell the guys I'm pleased. Passionate, you've played well. There's still room for improvement. Defence, calm. I was impressed with your side defending. Midfield, there's a lot to come from you, and I believe you've got what it takes, lads. I believe. Let's see how we get on here. It's going to be a tough one. But who knows? We'll see what we can do. Chance for them, it would seem. Looking to get their win-backs into play. I've got to be paranoid here, because if we concede 1, they only need 1 more to get themselves back into this. So we need good performances. Bockow collects the ball. Can we launch a counter-attack? There's a gap there. If you thread Barney through... Anike is getting a surprisingly large amount of first-team football with Courtois being banned, but he's a good player. I mean, he came in for 2.4 million. He was at Newcastle last year, as I've already mentioned, and he's always a good player on FM. I highly recommend him. If you're a kind of lower Premier League side, he's worth checking out, or even if you're in the Championship. Barney, sit the hell down, Dortmund. Sit down. 3-0. They need 4. In 1 half. I can't see it happening. We are going to be in the Champions League, guys, and we are doing it in style against Dortmund, one of the best teams in Europe, debatably. It's not really debatable. They are one of the best teams in Europe. Great result. I'm saying great result now. I want more. Come on, let's go and grab some more at Dortmund's hands. Barbosa's through. Bury that. Keeper saves it. The keeper's made a few good saves for them. It could have been, and could still be, a lot more. Could still be a lot more. Let's see if we can get a goal there. Come on, set piece. Get the ball in, Bockow. Get it. Dzeko, score. I want Dzeko to score just so I can kind of say the £26 million was warranted, but he's just kicked it at Pablo on the near post and it's gone out for a goal kick, so that's cool. Well, I can live with that. It was the thought that counts. Bockow is getting skinned too much today. He looks knackered. Bockow and Glenn Stewart both struggling for fitness. Let's do a change. We'll bring on Glenn Stewart and I don't have a right back. Garfield Thompson, you can play. Garfield, of course, was the Jamaican guy who went out on loan last year to FC Twente. Lots of potential about him. He could well potentially be a replacement for Pablo if he develops. They've scored. I'm not nervous, but it's FM. We could still concede 3. We could still concede 3 with 5 minutes left because this is FM. I want to say, like, this is football and anything can happen, but to be honest, it's more that it's FM and our keeper could kick it into his own goal, to be honest. But we're doing okay. 2 minutes left. We are in the Champions League, boys. What more can I say? FC United of Manchester, from the 7th tier of English football? 7th or 8th? 7th. We'll go with 7th. 7th tier of English football in 11 years will be appearing in the Champions League group stage. Absolutely ridiculous achievement. Got to top it up there with one of my best ever FM kind of things to do. I am chuffed. That was a really good performance. Good also to see us doing that well against a team like Dortmund. You know, Dortmund are, well, as I've mentioned, one of the top teams in Europe. And so to be beating them gives me hope going into the group stage that we can do well. And also, we got £7.47 million. That's a stadium in itself. Can I request a stadium? Can we do that? We have 5 million in the bank. I don't think we can. Should we ask if we can? I can't ask. I asked a few months ago and they said no. I will get a stadium built in my name. I swear. If it's the last thing I do, it will happen. I promise you that. We will build as many stadiums as it takes to get my name on it. That sounds so big-headed. I didn't mean it like that. When's the Champions League draw? Oh, it's today. Well, we'll watch this and then that'll be the end of the episode, I think, guys. Champions League draw. Ooh. What seed are we? We're a 4th seed, so we're going to go in a tough group. Okay. Automatic draw. Let's build up the tension. I would sing the Champions League theme tune, but that's copyrighted. What is the easiest group here? That's what I'm kind of looking at and waiting to try and find out. I mean, we've beaten Man City a few times before, so who knows? PSG. Okay, so there's not really an easy group there off the first set of draws, if I'm honest. Yeah, I don't want Group D. And I don't really want Group F. I don't want any group. Can I just get my own group? Can we do that? Group D isn't the group I want. That looks like the group of death. I don't know who's going to be the 3rd seed in there, but it's already looking bad. Oh, Galatasaray, that's not bad. I'm kind of leaning towards Group C. Group C looks like a good one. Group B looks bad as well. Or Group H. Where are we? Come out in Group C. I don't want that group. Oh, for fuck's sake. I promise you this is live, and I promise you I can't believe... Why? Nothing like a good old trip to Barca and Juve. Wow. The group that I said I don't want to get, we got pudding, guys. Well, that is FM for you. I'm not going to go into detail about you. I'll just quickly show you the Aston Villa game, which I mentioned. It was a 1-0 win, standard. So, Premier League, 2 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 win, 1 loss even. Looking at the Champions League, we beat Dortmund, which is great news. Great stuff, great performances, but now we're lined up for some tough trips around Europe, put it that way. Next episode will probably be the Man City game on the 22nd of the 10th, which is a little while away, actually. That's it's 2 months away, although there aren't that many games, so that'll probably be the next tie. I'm guessing a few Champions League ties will slot in around then as well. But anywho, guys, this has been episode 80 of The Road to Glory. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of a special live com. Not like one of the crazy months, but I don't know. I wanted to do something for episode 80, and I feel as if this is a good way of paying you guys back. Looking at the press, they appreciate it's a tough group, and Barcelona won the competition last year, and yeah, we've got Juve as well. I mean, easy, right? I mean, who is Barca's new Messi? Let's see who their new Messi is. It's Julian Draxler. Oh, he's an actual player. Well, there is a wonder kid for you guys. If you're looking for a wonder kid, apparently this guy is the guy for you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. It was live. Things didn't go exactly the way I wanted them to pan out, and I don't know. I'm a little bit hyper. I've not done a commentary in so long that I felt really rusty doing this. So, I don't know. I think it came out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with it. I think the results, 1-0 against Arsenal's not too bad, but the results against Dortmund, really fantastic stuff, which really show us, I guess, progressing as a club and progressing as a team. And I think this Champions League is going to provide a real test for us. I'm going to advance one day and see if the fixtures come up, because it's just crossed my mind that I may well live com a few of the games for you. Maybe we'll do the Barca game. I think that seems like a fair deal. Home at Barca, and then we'll do the home tie to Juve. Yeah, we'll do that. That is a fair deal. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a special episode, because there's some big fixtures in the after the Juve tie. Anyway, guys, I don't know how long this video has been. I've completely lost track of time as I've rambled. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a cheeky like. It does help people find the videos. It helps motivate me to do more. As I've said, I am going to be occupied to this Wednesday, so I don't know if I'm going to have videos for Monday and Tuesday. Hopefully I can try and get something out for Wednesday afternoon. If not, I will be producing videos from Thursday through till October. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to them. The Pentagon will be returning sometime this week. I'm looking forward to the North American Champions League final. It's been on hold for a long time, but it is coming. Guys, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something to write in your comment. Write down in your comment something to do with fairies, which might sound random, but it's to do with my university assignment. Just write something about fairies. I don't know. Anything. Right, actually, it's a bit. Just write something, guys. It's appreciated if you do. Give me some words of wisdom, some motivational speech, or just something that you want to point out and laugh at that I've done this video, because that happens all the time anyway. But no, I'm now rambling. I'm just gonna shut up now, guys. Give the video a cheeky like. Other than that, this has been episode 80 of The Road to Glory. 20 more episodes, episode 100. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but anywho, it's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.